Renewed clashes have erupted in southern Lebanon between Israeli forces and Hezbollah. The fighting is some of the fiercest in years. Early reports indicate heavy casualties on both sides. The violence comes after a period of relative calm in the region. The latest round of fighting began with a Hezbollah missile attack on Israeli military positions. Israel responded with artillery fire and airstrikes. The situation on the ground remains fluid and dangerous. Both sides are accusing the other of breaking ceasefires. Civilians are caught in the crossfire. Thousands have fled their homes seeking safety. International aid agencies are struggling to provide assistance. The humanitarian situation is deteriorating rapidly. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed a harsh response to Hezbollah's attacks. He stated that Israel will not tolerate any threats to its security. Netanyahu also pointed a finger at Iran, accusing the Islamic Republic of being behind the latest violence. U.S. President Joe Biden has expressed unwavering support for Israel's right to defend itself. However, he urged restraint. Biden cautioned Israel against any actions that could lead to a wider conflict. He specifically mentioned targeting Iran's nuclear facilities. The U.S. is walking a tightrope. It is trying to balance its support for Israel with its desire to avoid a regional war. The Biden administration is pursuing diplomatic channels to de-escalate the situation. Hezbollah's actions are seen as a calculated provocation. The group is trying to exploit the current regional instability. Hezbollah is also trying to shore up its image as a resistance movement. The group has lost support in Lebanon due to its involvement in the Syrian civil war. Iran's shadow looms large over the conflict. Tehran provides Hezbollah with financial and military support. Some analysts believe that Iran is encouraging Hezbollah to attack Israel. They argue that Iran wants to divert attention from its own domestic problems. Others believe Iran is trying to strengthen its position in any future negotiations with the West over its nuclear program. Section 4. International community condemns violence, urges restraint. The international community has strongly condemned the violence in Lebanon. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting. The United States, France, and other countries called for an immediate ceasefire. They urged all parties to show restraint and return to negotiations. The Arab League has also issued a statement condemning the violence. The organization called on Israel to stop its aggression against Lebanon. The Arab League also urged Hezbollah to refrain from further provocations. Section 5. Diplomatic efforts underway to broker ceasefire. Frantic diplomatic efforts are underway to broker a ceasefire. The United States is leading the charge. Special envoys have been dispatched to the region. They are meeting with Israeli, Lebanese, and Hezbollah officials. The European Union is also involved in mediation efforts. The EU has called on both sides to respect international law. It has also offered humanitarian assistance to Lebanon. So far, the diplomatic efforts have not yielded any breakthroughs. The situation remains volatile. It is unclear how long the current ceasefire will hold. Section 6. Regional stability hangs in the balance. The fighting in Lebanon threatens to destabilize the entire region. The conflict could easily spill over into neighboring countries. Syria is already engulfed in a civil war. Jordan is struggling to cope with a refugee crisis. A wider war would be disastrous. It would lead to massive loss of life and displacement. It would also further damage the already fragile economies of the region. The international community must redouble its efforts to find a peaceful solution. The stakes are simply too high to fail.